Krishna. Looks like there is a attendance is less today.
Prabhuji, I'm joining from my mobile because I'm not at home. This is Sushila ji.
No issues, no issues. I'm just telling attendance is less, looks like. Okay. No issues. Let's begin our session. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4. Before we begin, let's offer a praise to Prabhupada and Lord Krishna. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandrodaya ki jai Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Welcome everybody for the Bhagavad Gita overview session. We are discussing from chapter 4. So I request all of you to keep your copy of Bhagavad Gita as it is in front of you. But as we are discussing, and you can keep on referring and understand the subject matter nicely. Okay. So we were discussing in the previous session about the way which Krishna wants all of us to work on the principle of akarma. Akarma means when you act, there is no reaction. And this action having no reaction is possible only when the actions are performed as per the direction of Lord Krishna, as sanctioned by Lord Krishna. Right? So this is the context in which we were discussing. And Krishna was giving us the various symptoms and various ways in which all of us can perform our actions in a specific manner with a proper frame of mind, the proper understanding, with proper intelligence. That, the actions, what we do, finally actions are only manifestation of what is going on in the background as thinking, feeling, and willing. Right? They are manifested through our senses as an action. So Krishna wanted us to have a proper background understanding and a proper knowledge with regard to why we are acting and how we are supposed to act. Right? The whole purpose is to see that the lust or the karma within our heart is uprooted from the root. The aspect of independent enjoyment, spirit of enjoyment independent of Krishna, is what is the cause of our material existence. So Krishna wants us to cure that disease, or he wants to basically uproot that enemy which is actually disturbing all of us life after life, making us to go through different cycles of birth and death, taking different types of bodies going on in the material world. So Krishna says that whatever activity you do, if the intention is without personal gratification, it should be kama sankalpa varjita. Kama, word kama is used. It's desire for personal gratification. And every activity, we should see that we don't expect result for ourselves. All results should be given to Krishna. Right? Then you are going to have proper satisfaction and you are going to act in a way that you're not dependent on either good or bad. What comes is Krishna's sanction. This way to work, Krishna mentioned. And also, with our mind, intelligence properly directed, with no sense of proprietorship on actions, just for maintaining ourselves our body and soul together. We have to act in that way. This is going to free you from all sins. Kilbisham. If you remember, this word kilbisham, Krishna also used in 3rd chapter, 13th verse. Yagna shishta shinarsanto muchyante sarva kilbisham. Kilbisham means free from all sins. Because in the material world, intentionally, unintentionally, we are committing sins. You are walking on the street, so many ants, without your knowledge, are getting nicely trampled. They're going to which loka, we don't know, but they're getting dead. Right? Likewise, ants are getting trampled, so many insects, germs. When you are grinding, so many bacteria, germs, fully crushed. They become chutney, along with your chutney. So like this, many things, unknowingly, so many entities, which you can see, which you cannot see, are dying. So for householders, there is a recommendation of what is known as Panchashuna Yagna. They are supposed to do a lot of rituals and sacrifices. So Krishna says, all that you go on doing, again, you cannot avoid the action, reaction, what you have to suffer. So better is perform action the way Krishna is recommending, and everything is taken care. So in this way, when you act only for bare necessities of what is required for my existence, this will free you from all sinful reactions. In this way, you have to be satisfied with what is coming to you, not overly endeavor for something which is not easily achievable. Right? So be satisfied with whatever Krishna sanctions, because whatever comes, finally it is Lord's sanction. So in that way, you can be free from all dualities. And for Krishna's sake, Prabhupada says, a devotee does not hesitate to act in any way for satisfaction of Krishna. Whatever Lord wants, as directed by his representative, Prabhupada, we act. So in those actions, there is no reaction. That's what the whole last 4 verses we discussed. Krishna explained that how in the material world, how to act so that those actions will not have reactions. That is the whole discussion. And further, verse 23. Today, Krishna is telling in chapter 4, Gata Sangasya Muktasya Jnana Vastita Chetasaha Yagnayacharataha Karma Samagram Praviliyate. This is in continuation, or line of thoughts are continuing. Krishna is telling Jnana Vastita Chetasaha. Which Jnana? The Jnana what we have just now discussed. Every action should be devoid of desire for personal gratification. Kama Sankalpa Varjita. And we should offer all results to Krishna. Every result of every activity should be offered to Krishna. And we should only work for the bare necessities of our maintenance of our body, not overly endeavoring for some things which is not required, artificial needs. And be satisfied with what Krishna has sanctioned. So in this way, if this understanding, you are going to work or do action in every step, then Jnana Avastita Chetasa. Jnana Avastita Chetasa means in this knowledge, if you are situated actually. And in this, where Krishna says, the Prabhupada says, Chetasaha means this is the wisdom which you are going to get. In this wisdom, if you start acting, what happens? Gata Sangasya Muktasya. You will become free from the modes of nature. Right? You will be unattached to the modes of nature. So what is this modes of nature? I have explained several times, but again I will tell. Modes of nature, modes, guna, later on Prabhupada explains. Guna means rope. So there are 3 gunas acting in the material world. These 3 gunas are the material energies, different manifestations. Krishna's energy, one of the energies is this material energy. He has multiple energies. One energy is material energy, Bahiranga Shakti. So this Bahiranga Shakti is manifesting as three modes, which you cannot see with your eyes, but you can experience the influence. So these three modes, gunas, actually, when you see threads, so 2-3 threads are together, it gets intertwined and becomes such a strong, knot that you cannot open it so easily. Right? Like that, these three modes are intermixed in different permutations, combinations, based on our inclinations, our desires, our previous karmas, and we get one specific type of a body with one nature, swabhava. That's how the modes are acting. And the modes will prepare one profile for us every life. One type of a thinking, one type of a acting, one type of understanding, one type of intelligence. All these things is modes working. So whatever type of bodies, different type of living entities are having in the material world is only creation of the modes, manifestation of the modes, material energy working as modes and manifesting them. Dog has one type of a body, a bird has one type of a body, they're under different modes. So all the different entities in this material world and everything in the material world is influenced by the modes. This elaborate subject matter, Krishna explains in the last 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita elaborately, in detail. For time being, let us understand these modes are the energies of Krishna working in a specific way on us. Because of these modes, we are acting, we are thinking, we are feeling, we are doing so many things under different modes. So Krishna is telling, when you are situated in proper understanding the way he has explained in the previous last few verses, then you will be free from modes. Gata sangasya muktasya. Muktasya means you are liberated. That is the whole purpose of this human life, to become free from the influence of modes or become above the modes. So, being situated above the modes, you are actually coming under the influence of spiritual energy. Right now, under the influence of modes, ropes means they are tied so tightly that you are shackled. In the material world, we are not imprisoned with chains. We are imprisoned with these modes, with these bodies. This body is imprisonment. So basically, when you are freed from this modes, means you will not get any more material bodies. Your spiritual body will be revived, and you will go back to spiritual. Right? So, becoming free from modes means you are free from the dualities of this material world: good, bad, name, fame, infamy, heat, cold. Because people are moved by all these different dualities. Right? So when you are free from these dualities means you are indifferent to them. It is there, we tolerate it. Right? And that way you are going to rise above the modes. This is all explained in detail in the last 6 chapters, just briefly telling you. So basically, this is all possible when your background understanding is very clear that I am actually part and parcel of Krishna. My duty is to serve Krishna and nothing else. And with that, because I have in a specific body right now, I have to act as a matter of duty. A male body, a female body in a specific situation, we have to act based on situation. That is only incidental or circumstantial. So every action he's doing to see that he's trying to become closer and closer to his actual situation of being servant to Krishna. Any activity he does in relation with Krishna. That is the whole aspect which we have to understand here. So when you act in this way, you will be free from modes, and every activity you do, Krishna says, it is like yajna. What does yajna mean? Yajna means actions meant for satisfying Krishna. Right? So because you are only trying to satisfy Krishna with every activity in authorized manner, So every activity is actually yajna. Right? It is not meant for personal gratification. It is meant for Krishna's satisfaction. So yajna means sacrificing, voluntarily sacrificing. Not for, see, when you offer the offerings in the fire sacrifice, the pujari chants mantras and says he offers something, and he offers it to Om and some mantras he says, idam na mama. It is not for me, it is for you, Krishna. Right? Our conditioning is such that in every action we want a dividend. Prabhupada says, we want a commission. What is there for me? I am chanting Hare Krishna. I am happy, satisfied. Oh, today I am not feeling happy, so tomorrow I will not chant. That is not the way. Whether you feel happy or not happy is all your mental situation. You do your duty for satisfaction of Krishna. Krishna is satisfied. So this particular aspect of doing actions for the soul's upliftment is what Krishna is always recommending. At a mental level, emotional level, you always have this, like, dislike, happiness, distress, good, bad, right? Prabhupada explained this. You remember in the second chapter, very clearly Prabhupada explained how the liking and disliking of whatever we feel, this is good, this is bad, these are only two sides of the same coin. Right? Somebody may feel like Prabhupada says, attachments means accepting things for one's own sense gratification. Right? You're attached. Oh, I like this. You have some agenda behind that action. And Prabhupada says detachment is the absence of such sense attachment. Being fixed in Krishna consciousness, one has neither attachment or detachment because his life is dedicated to the service of Krishna. Krishna has explained all this in second chapter already. Dukkeshu anudvigna mana, sukeshu vigata spraha, vitaraga bhaya krodha, sthita dhir muni ruchyate. So like this, basically, Krishna is trying to tell us, become situated in this understanding. This whole chapter is called transcendental knowledge. Right now, our mind is filled with mundane knowledge, material knowledge. So we have to replace that knowledge with transcendental knowledge and act in that way. Then what happens? You'll be free from modes of nature, and every action becomes yajna. Yajna means it is meant for satisfaction of Krishna. So such actions will not have any reaction. Otherwise, what happens? Every action has a reaction. That's what Krishna explained in third chapter. What did he say? Yagnarthat karmano anyatra. Any action which is not meant for satisfying Krishna is a cause of bondage. Right? Yagnarthat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. It is going to create karma bandhana because you are acting for your own personal gratification. It is not for Krishna's satisfaction. That is the whole problem. So this is the way Krishna is telling how to work. What is the way of coming out of this entanglement of lust? Right? Next, Krishna very nicely explains in the next verse. Beautiful verse it is. Most of you will be knowing this. Brahmarpanam brahmahavir brahmagno brahmana hutam brahmaiva tena gantavyam brahma karma samadhina. So this verse, Prabhupada says, this is how our Krishna consciousness movement is established on this principle. What is Krishna telling here? He is giving the example of, or rather he is taking the analogy of a yajna, fire yajna. Because in the previous verse, 23rd verse, Krishna explained, when you are situated in this knowledge, proper understanding that we have to offer results to Krishna, will not have any other personal motives, intentions, other than satisfying Krishna. If this is the way you're going to work, then every action becomes yajna. Yajna in a common understanding means a fire altar, there's a pujari sitting and offering butter, ingredients to the fire, right? That's what this example is, this verse is telling. Brahmarpanam, Brahma Havir, right? Brahmarpanam means whatever you're offering, that activity of offering, Arpana. And Havir means butter, other ingredients, what you're offering, what you're going to offer, Havis. Then Brahma Agni, the fire which is going to be there in the sacrifice. Brahmagnav, Brahmana Hutam. Hutam means the hota, or the offering, the person who is offering. Brahmaiva tena gantavya. If you offer like this, everything becomes spiritual, and because of which Brahma Karma Samadhina. Your activities are spiritualized, and you, because you're absorbed in such activities, you will actually get destination of spiritual world. Technical, but it has a very wonderful meaning. Basically, in a simplistic language, what Krishna is telling is Brahma word is used continuously here. Almost, you can say 4, 5, 6 times Krishna has used Brahma. Brahman means spiritual. In Bhagavad Gita, later on, Arjuna is glorifying Krishna in 10th chapter. Parabrahma, Paramdhama, Param Brahma. We are also Brahman. Krishna also is Brahman. But we are small Brahman. Krishna is Param Brahman. He is Supreme Brahman. Brahman means spiritual. So basically, Krishna is telling us here, the offerings which are used in the sacrifice, where are they coming from? Butter, or different ingredients offered. What are they? They're all different manifestations of Krishna only. Krishna's energy only. Later on we'll see. In 7th chapter, Krishna explains. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, they're all my separated energy, Krishna says. So the ingredients used in any sacrifice are all coming from Krishna, Krishna's energy. It means they are all connected to Brahman, Parabrahman, right? And what is fire? Fire again is an ingredient, Krishna's energy only. Bhumi Rapo Anala. Anala means fire. One of the ingredients Krishna has created. The fire in a sacrifice, ingredients in a sacrifice, the person who is going to offer the sacrifice. Who is that person? That person is spirit soul. Person is not simply a machine. He is a spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna. And the offering is for whom? Brahmarpanam, for Krishna only. Right? And this is all activities prescribed in scriptures. Basically, when you have the background understanding with what you are doing, what you are offering, why you are doing it, from the Vedic understanding, and doing it for Krishna's satisfaction only, everything, that becomes a spiritual activity, a spiritualized activity. Because everything is of spiritual nature finally. That's the whole point. Now, Prabhupada explains the difference between matter and spirit. Right? When we forget Krishna and utilize Krishna's energy for our own gratification, no Krishna in picture, that is called Maya. Maya means Krishna is not there. Illusion. It's not a fact, but we are thinking that is what it is. That is called Maya. Fact is, everything is Krishna's. So, coming back to our proper understanding, our consciousness that everything belongs to Krishna. Everything should be offered
Hello? Hello?
Is class stopped or is there a link issue? Kamatji?
Yeah, signal is out.
Huh?
The signal is not there, Prabhuji.
Signal is not there.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can't hear, Prabhuji.
there's no image.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. I'm back.
Hare Krishna.
There's some net
Hare
issues.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yeah, Hare
Yes,
Krishna,
now
Prabhuji.
you
Yeah,
are.
Hare
Okay.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Fine, so we'll continue. So basically, Krishna is telling that when you understand the background of what you are doing, it's like, we'll take the example of chanting Hare Krishna. That is a good example. The sound in Hare Krishna mantra actually is Krishna himself. Right? This understanding we are getting from scriptures, Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. And you who are chanting Hare Krishna is a spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna. Right? And the activity of chanting is the offering, your offering of your devotion to Krishna. Right? So, when you are chanting Hare Krishna, it's actually the you are doing per recommendation of the modern age, Kali Yuga, what is recommended in scriptures. Because the other way of other sacrifices which is recommended in, which we know as sacrifice, is not actually recommended, or rather it is not possible to perform in this present age because of so many shortcomings, so many other various factors in Kali Yugas, because of Kali Yuga's degradation. So the sacrifice, what is mentioned in Kali Yuga, in this Kali Yuga, is the Sankirtana Yajna. Right? So we're discussing about Yajna. Why? Because Krishna has mentioned about Yajna in 23rd verse. What is the consciousness we should have with this, for this performance of Yajna? Krishna is very clearly told. Right? So this chanting is not, it should be done with pure intention of only satisfying Krishna. Very important. And chanting should be done with not having any other motive. Right, with the only for satisfying Krishna. This is the way we have to chant. So with this we have to offer every mantra, because every mantra you chant is like an offering to Krishna. And the benefit of offering every mantra chanting, same benefit what previously big sacrifices used to be arranged, Ashwamedha Yajna and different yajnas, same benefit you are going to get. Rather, much more benefit. There's a statement in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is mentioned that if you may perform 10,000 Ashwamedha Yajnas, just listen to me, 10,000 Ashwamedha Yajna, because one performance of one Ashwamedha Yajna is so difficult. In Bhagavatam, there are descriptions. Yudhisthira Maharaj performed Ashwamedha Yajna. Prithu Maharaj, one more big king, he performed 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas. Ashwamedha Yajna you perform means your lot of arrangements have to be done. And Bhagavatam, the scriptures are telling 10,000 Ashwamedha Yajnas you perform, or you go to Prayag and perform severe austerities there. Prayag, Prayag, where the confluence of Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati is there. This will not equal even a fraction of the advancement you get in spiritual journey by just once uttering Hare Krishna. Just see the great benefit we are having. So what is the way we are supposed to chant or perform our every devotional activity is what Krishna is telling us here. Right? The activities, how activities in Krishna consciousness should be performed and how it will lead us to the ultimate goal. Krishna is telling us, Brahmaiva tena gantavya. Ultimately, where you have to go? You have to go to spiritual kingdom. To go to spiritual kingdom, what should be your background consciousness? With what background consciousness you should perform your devotion? Basically, it is a recommendation of performing bhakti with a purified consciousness. Right now, our consciousness is polluted, contaminated. Contaminated in the sense that it is hankering for fruits for in every action for oneself. Contaminated in the sense that it is hankering for name, fame, power, position in every action what we do. Right? It is contaminated in the sense that it is looking for how I will be happy. I don't bother about Lord or anything else. My satisfaction is of utmost importance. This is the way our consciousness is right now conditioned. This has to be corrected, purified. That's what correction means, purification. That purification of consciousness will happen when you perform the actions in this way. Prabhupada says very nicely, basically the principle of Krishna consciousness, how we should do, how gradually as you are chanting, as you are moving forward in your devotional service, how the quality of your understanding and consciousness should go to the next level. It should become very, very mature. That's what Prabhupada is trying to tell us here. Right? It should become free from materialistic way of thinking to purified level of understanding, consciousness. That's what Krishna is trying to tell us here. So, just like today we were discussing in Bhagavatam, very nicely, Kapila Muni is explaining to his mother about how to function or how to work in what consciousness. He says, Nivritti Vritti Nirataha, which means right now our consciousness is pravritti. Pravritti means inclination for enjoyment in a materialistic way. Right? Materialistic means my body necessities and comforts. That's what we are looking for. So that is called the path of Hare Krishna. Sorry for this. Internet's too much of. Okay. I was talking about pravritti and nivritti. Pravritti means the path of material enjoyment. So many rituals are there. In the rituals, you can get some better situation. I can go to heaven. Right? I'll enjoy life there. Performance of different pujas. So everything will be very good in my life. This type of understanding. Right? We're not saying it is not good or not proper, but it is a very slow process. Right? Whereas Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita is giving us a recommendation of what is known as Nivritti Marga, path of detachment. Right? So, because human life is meant for achieving the highest perfection of Krishna consciousness. Possible. In Kali Yuga, it is made very simple and easy. So, क्या हो रहा है? हो रहा है, घूम रहा है. Anyway, so hope I am audible. I think
Yes, Prabhuji. Now you are audible. Yes.
And Nivritti Marga is explaining. So regular way process of karma kanda, jnana kanda, they are all called pravritti marga. Whereas the process of bhakti is called nivritti marga. So Kapila Muni explains, nivritti marga means a path of complete absorption yourself in Krishna's service. See, following all those different processes gradually should bring you to the platform of devotional understanding of Krishna and absorb yourself in Krishna. Whereas the Krishna consciousness will immediately bring you to the platform of nivritti marga. The way Krishna is explaining in this verse. You are chanting for Krishna's satisfaction. The mantra is Krishna's own name, and you're offering for whatever you're offering with you. You are also Krishna's part and parcel, and you're offering with love. This food is so Kapila Muni says, Nivritti Vritti. Hare Krishna. Again and again it is coming and going. I'm extremely sorry for this. So even I'm taking on the network, not on the Wi-Fi. Some problem. Anyway, fine. So bear with me. So nivritti nirataha. Then Krishna and Kapila Muni says, he says, nirahankara nirmama. Nirahankara means it is no. I am not this body. I am spirit soul. Nirahankara. And nirmama. This is not mine. Right? Aham mama. This has to be given up. This tendency has to be given. When you say that I am this body, then whatever from the body, bodily things come up or bodily results come up, you also want to enjoy the results of that. Right? You want to enjoy, suffer results of that. When you say it is not my, I am not this body, I am spirit, soul, Krishna, whatever sanctions will happen, move forward in your spiritual life, then that is the way of understanding. That is the way of moving forward. It's like Prabhupada gives example of Arjuna. Initially, Arjuna was hesitant to fight based on aham and mama. Oh, my relatives are going to die. So much of bloodshed will happen. When he understood, no, Krishna wants this fight, then what did Arjuna do? He simply agreed. Whatever Krishna wants, I will do. Karishye vachanam tava. That is the way we are supposed to function. That is called akarma. That's what Krishna is telling us. This verse is sort of a conclusion for whatever Krishna has spoken so far in this last four, 5 verses. Right? So when you act only for Krishna's satisfaction, that is called nirmama nirahankara. Nivritti nirataha. Like what Krishna is telling here in this Bhagavad Gita, it is called Brahma Karma Samadhina. Completely spiritualized activities when you act only for Krishna's satisfaction. So Prabhupada has written a very wonderful purport, in this for this verse. Prabhupada says this is the method of Krishna consciousness. Just like a simple example of cooking we can take. Cooking, what happens? When you go to market to purchase ingredients for cooking, you are gone to market for cooking for Krishna. So that marketing of ingredients is spiritualized. Right? Then you have come and you started cooking. Cooking activity itself is spiritualized. Right? Then after cooking, you are not going to taste the food. First, you are going to offer it to Krishna. That is again the mentality of while cooking, the mentality is spiritualized and the food is first offered to Krishna. So it has become yajna. Every action has become yajna. And after offering, you're taking the food as prasada. Again, activity of taking the mercy of Krishna, which means every step in every action which Prabhupada has given us in our organization is all completely spiritualized activities. You understand the principle, the method behind every action and start working, rather acting in that consciousness, it's going to lift your consciousness to the spiritual way of consciousness. That's the point. Right now, our consciousness is contaminated. It is polluted consciousness. We have to spiritualize our consciousness. That's the whole understanding of this verse. So, Krishna has finally concluded in this one section, which we discussed with regard to how to spiritualize your consciousness. The working should not be done with material consciousness. Working should be done with spiritual consciousness. See, so much of knowledge is Krishna is giving in this chapter, 4th chapter. Next, Krishna explains in the next few verses different types of yajnas. Why? Because there are different types of people. Just like there are 3 modes, I told you. 3 modes has divided the whole world into different sections of people. This is what Krishna explained. In 13th verse of this chapter, what did he say? Chatur varnyam maya shrishtam guna karma vibhagasha. Based on the gunas and the nature of the work they are inclined to, I have divided the world into 4 varnas and 4 ashramas. 4 divisions, so society divisions, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Again, these divisions are not caste, they are divisions of qualification. What type of nature you are acquired and what type of inclination you have, that is what it is, Varna Ashrama. So, there are different types of people of different natures. Everybody cannot do the type of activity which a very intelligent person like a Brahmana can do, or Kshatriya's activity everybody cannot do. So there are different recommendations for different people. Prabhupada says there are different types of Vedic literatures. Some literatures are meant for people in the mode of goodness, sattva guna. Some literatures are meant for people in the mode of passion. Some literatures are meant for people in the mode of ignorance. Right? So there are 18 Puranas. 6 Puranas are meant for people in the mode of goodness, sattva guna. 6 meant for people in the mode of passion, rajoguna, and 6 are meant for people in the mode of ignorance called tamoguna. Just like one example with regard to people in the mode of ignorance, there is a Purana. This Purana is actually Devi Purana. In that, it is a recommendation. You can offer one animal, insignificant animal like a goat in front of goddess Kali. Not every day, only on Amavasya day, dark moon night, right? Amavasya day, once in a month it comes, no? Purnima, Amavasya, right? Full moon, dark moon. So on Amavasya day, a goat should be sacrificed in front of Kali for those people who are in the mode of ignorance, who want to eat meat. And before sacrificing that animal, the person who is sacrificing should utter a mantra. The mantra meaning is, I cannot control my tongue. I am killing you. So next life, I will become goat and you become human and you kill me. Just see. This is called, that is the meaning of what is known as mamsa. Mamsa is a Sanskrit word which means mam saha. I will also become like you become like me, you kill me and eat me next life. Because I cannot control my tongue now. Just see. So this mantra he has to utter every time he is going to kill. The whole purpose is to one point of time you will think, I am only killing for becoming goat like this next life. Some good sense will come. Restrictions, some good sense will come. So gradually from Tamoguna it will come to Sattva Guna. That is the whole purpose. Right? So like this, recommendations are there so that people in different modes, different recommendations are there, because everybody cannot follow everything. At least gradually they will come up. They come to the mode of goodness and transcend the mode of goodness also. Krishna consciousness means it is beyond the modes. Any activity you do in Krishna consciousness in a proper way, it is beyond the modes. Right? If something is not, rather is not coming as a result for you right now, like while chanting, you're supposed to have ecstasy of tears coming from your eyes. Right? And you should feel so intense love for Krishna. That is not happening, which means you're still under the modes. Somewhere you're not following the process properly. That's the whole point. So, yes, we are trying, we'll follow, we'll try to, as much as possible move forward. That is the way we have to move forward. The thing is, the process is not not at fault. The way we are following is what is to be analyzed and corrected. That's the point. So the point is, there are different types of scriptures meant for different types of people. Likewise, Bhagavad Gita in the 18th chapter explains, Yajna, Dana, Tapa, Kriya, na tyajyam karyam. The yajna means sacrifices. Voluntarily offering offerings to Krishna or any higher authority. Just like with regard to people in mode of tamoguna, mode of ignorance, they're offering it to Kali. Kali is authority, not highest, but at least one authority. Like this, yajna, sacrifice, dana, charity, tapa, austerity. These three things should not be abandoned, Krishna says. Should always be performed for our own welfare. Right? So in Kali Yuga, these three activities of yajna, dana, tapa, sacrifice, charity, and austerity is all very nicely given for us in the way of chanting Hare Krishna. Chanting Hare Krishna yourself is yajna. Right? And you can go on chanting and distributing this Hare Krishna to everybody. Dana. Very important. You chant and make others chant. That is the biggest dana you can give. And thirdly, while chanting, if you can only hear Hare Krishna, nothing else, biggest austerity. Because chanting time, so many things come. Whatever should not come also will come. Right? Something you have forgotten will come. Right? That is the problem. So chanting time, no other thought. Only Hare Krishna sound should be there. That's all. Vibrating, reverberating in our consciousness. So yajna, dana, tapa is all very nicely given and presented to us in a very, very simplistic manner by Prabhupada for us to practice. So here, in the next few verses, what we're going to see is different types of yajnas, sacrifices, which people perform of different natures are being explained. Beginning with verse 25, Krishna says, Daivam eva pare yajnam yogina paryupasate brahmagnau apare yajnam yagnai vopa juhvati. So some yogis, Prabhupada says, perfectly worship the demigods. Right? So who are these demigods? Devatas. Devatas are powerful living entities appointed by Supreme Lord Krishna for the maintenance and supervision of all the material functions going on in the material world, like heating, sun, demigod is taking care, watering, Indra is taking care by rain, lighting, right? Again, sun is taking care. Like this, moon is taking care. So many different departments are there. Just like in a government, there are so many departments. Water department, current department, road department, like this. Different departments of universal affairs, universal management, maintenance and supervision of all these different departments are handled by these powerful entities who are known as Devatas. So there are people, which Krishna explains later in the later chapters, that people who are in the mode of passion, Rajoguna, they worship Devatas. Right? They worship these different Devatas. There is only one supreme authority, Krishna. Any other powerful entities like this, Devatas, are all under Krishna. In Chaitanya Charitamrita it is mentioned, Ekale Ishwara Krishna ar sab bhritya. Only Krishna is the supreme master. Everybody else are subordinate to him. Right? So there are some yogis or performers of these various, sacrifices, which they worship Devatas by offering different types of sacrifices. Right? Different types of sacrifices. Like in the Bhagavatam it is mentioned, big list is there. If you want to have good health, worship Sun Devata, Surya Devata. If you want to have wealth, you worship Kupera. Right? Like that, there are different recommendations. If you want to have power, you worship this devata. Want to have that, this. Like this, if you want to have beautiful wife, you worship Parvati. So like this, many recommendations are given. Right? So people who are, Krishna explained in this chapter only. If you see in the verse number, I think 12. What did he say? People have different material desires. Kangshanta karmanam siddhim yajanta iha devata. Verse number 12 of this chapter. People have so many desires to fulfill in this material world. So they go to worship devatas, and devatas very quickly satisfy their desires. So they are all in the mode of passion. So in different places, Krishna explains about devata worship in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna actually condemns devata worship, but he doesn't say need not do. Rather, he says need not do, but he's not telling that, he's not denying totally. Because there are people of that varieties, that level. So this is also one type, because gradually they'll at least come to the level of worshipping Krishna. Oh, I'm worshipping this personality, devata. He must be also getting power from somewhere. Who is that person? At least that sense will come. In Bhagavatam is a nice description. Narad Muni was, glorifying his father Brahma. You seems to be supreme, right? You are creating everything, but I'm seeing you're also doing meditation on somebody else. You please tell me why you are doing this. Then Brahma explains, I am not supreme. Krishna is supreme. Yes, see? So that is the whole point. So just like it is mentioned, you worship Lord Shiva, but Shiva, once you are properly worship Shiva and go to Kailasa, Shiva will train you how to go back to Krishna Loka. That's what all devatas do finally. You can go to Devata Loka with all proper performance of sacrifices. But finally, you have to go to Krishna Loka. So Krishna says, why you have to go round about? Offering, or rather worshipping Devata is like offering a bribe to officers. Why don't you offer directly service, offering your offerings to Krishna? It's called Avidhi Purvakam. Avidhi Purvakam means you're trying to indirectly do something which is not proper. Your work has to happen, so you have to bribe some officer and go forward. But it will only delay your whole process of your existence here. So it is one type of people who worship devatas. And one more type, Krishna says, Brahmagno apare yagnam yagnai jufati. Others are there who offer sacrifices in the fire of Supreme Brahman. This is the class of spiritualists called impersonalist. Impersonalists finally have their conclusion that Supreme Absolute Truth or God is Nirakara, no form. He is impersonal. He has no personality, right? They are engaged in what is known as Vedanta study, philosophical speculation, to understand what is Brahman, what is this material world, all that they analyze, right? But finally they conclude that God is Nirakara. When God comes in this material world, he takes a akara like one of us. He comes under Maya. That's why they are called as Mayavadis. Mayavadis are a class of spiritualists who have twisted the Vedic understanding to suit their own requirements. Right? So Krishna is referring to them that there are one more class of transcendentalists who are also moving in that path, but their conclusion is finally God is impersonal. So they are offering their sacrifices in the fire of Supreme Brahman. Right? Finally, they want to become one with that light, Brahma Jyoti. That's what impersonalists want. Right? For them, the fire altar for them is the Brahma Jyoti. Right? I want to go and fall into that and lose my individuality. I want to merge with that impersonal Brahman. I want to get consumed. That is not what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. You can never merge. You will always remain as individuals. This is what Krishna explained in 2nd chapter, 12th verse. Natvevaham jatunasam natvam nime janadipa. What did Krishna say to Arjuna? Arjuna, you, me, and all the kings here were individuals in the past. We are individuals now and will remain as individuals in the future also. So this aspect of homogeneous oneness or merging is not recommended in Bhagavad Gita. In fact, Krishna is explaining this because there are different types of people of different natures, different modes they are influenced. Whereas Krishna doesn't recommend this in Bhagavad Gita that you lose your identity or individuality. You maintain your individuality identity always and offer service to Krishna. Bhagavatam explains that such impersonalists who merge in impersonal Brahman, very detailed explanation is given in 12th chapter again in Bhagavad Gita. Their path is very difficult to reach that, go and merge with impersonal Brahman. That merging is not happening. They'll remain as spiritual sparks there. And again, that situation is unstable. Prabhupada gives the example. If you are put in an island where nobody is there, only you are there, it will be so boring now. Right? You will be happy when there are other people, other entities, because you as an individual, your nature is to be happy. Individually, you cannot be happy. You need to have people around you, other entities around you. So this situation of merging in impersonal Brahman is an unstable situation. Again, they will fall down. Is what Bhagavad Gita, rather Bhagavatam explains. So there are two types of yajnas Krishna is explaining here. One is worship of devatas. One more is impersonalist way of offering themselves to the fire of Supreme Brahman, or they becoming consumed in Supreme Brahman. They think I am merged with impersonal Brahman. That is one type of path. And next Krishna explains in verse 26, Shrotadin indriyanyanye samyamagnishu juhvati shabdadin vishayananye indriyagnishu juhvati. Prabhupada explains how in the Varnashrama, Varna means social division, Ashrama means spiritual division. Spiritual division means everybody has 4 stages of life. Student life, known as Brahmacharya. Then family life, known as Grahastha. Then there is retired life, known as Vanaprastha. And finally, there is a renounced life, known as Sannyasa. Right? So, basically, these divisions are there to gradually train the human beings to reach the highest perfection of life. Prabhupada explains, this is meant to see that we reach the spiritual perfection. That is the whole purpose. So, the first recommendation, what is given in this verse 26, is with regard to the brahmacharis, students. Shrotadini means the hearing process. Hearing process and the activities of other senses, indriyani anye, because every sense is demanding so many activities, so many sense gratification, right? Ear wants to hear nice music, the tongue wants to taste so many things, right? So, but a brahmachari or a student is supposed to see that these sensations are restricted, and he has to control his, his sensations and offer this controlling tendency in the Krishna Prabhupada says in the fire of controlled mind. Right? In the fire, mind should always give him direction. No, mind, your senses are driving here, there. But again, this is not the purpose. It's fully focus on spiritual journey. So Prabhupada is explaining very nicely on this point that how in the Vedic age there were great rishis like Vishwamitra Muni who was practicing this, but he failed. Right? He was engaged in severe austerities of controlling the senses, but it was not successful. Whereas in the modern age, the recommendation which scriptures give us is to chant Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Namanu Kirtana, chanting and hearing. You always understand, Hare Krishna is not simply chanting. What you chant, you should hear. Then only the mind is locked. Your chanting and hearing of the chant is the offering of your tendency to get distracted in the fire of the mind, in the fire of the controlled mind. It's a very important word Prabhupada uses here. Mind control means what? Your mind is not getting distracted here and there. It is just chanting and hearing. Chanting is basically attention of your mind on the vibration of Hare Krishna mantra. That is one yajna. The big sacrifice it is. Right? You are sacrificing the natural tendency of the mind Otherwise, mind is what? It is flickering. Chanchala. Thinking this, thinking that, doing this, so many things, whole world. It is going around everywhere. So the mind is on the chanting for whatever number of rounds you have committed to chant. That much time we should see that the mind is locked up on the vibration of Hare Krishna chanting. So this is what all of us should do basically, right? This is one type of yagna. Shrotadin indriyanyanya. Next is Shabdadin Vishayananya. Right? There are so many other type of licenses, other type of say recommendations for grihasthas. Right? Vishaya means object of sense gratification. Prabhupada says the householders who have some license for sense gratification, right? Because they have family, children, relatives. But the householders should not think, oh, I am married and we can do anything. Only whenever required, we will chant and do some things. Otherwise, we can do anything. That is not the way. Here, very nicely, Prabhupada explains, you are supposed to act with great restraint. Basically, your life also should be regulated, not indulge in unrestricted sense gratification. So here, basically, what Krishna is telling is the tendency to indulge in a householder life in sense gratification is very much, more than in student life or other ashramas. In grihastha life, you have to have more self-restraint and see that everything is acted for Krishna. Indriyagni. Indriyagni means Indriya. Which Indriyas? Krishna's Indriyas. You have to offer all the results to Krishna. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. That is the point. So the restricted, unattached way of working or acting is also yagna. Prabhupada says, brahmachari means, yes, he is celibate, he is not married. Even a householder who is married and following all the rules, regulations strictly the way Krishna is telling, he is also a brahmachari. Right? He's also like a brahmachari. He's a grihastha brahmachari. Prabhupada uses this word. It's a word. He's a grihastha brahmachari. So the recommendation which Krishna is giving is very practical here. And you should see the principles. In the previous verse, Krishna was explaining about different types of people, in different modes. And in this verse, Krishna is talking about different ashramas. How in every ashrama, the restriction is there. The purpose is to achieve spiritual perfection. That is the whole purpose, right? So like this, there are some more discussions in next few more verses. And we will take it up in the next session. For today, we will conclude here. So anybody has anything to ask, discuss, or comment, you can take a few questions. Hare Krishna. So this chapter is a very wonderful chapter. All of you should carefully go through this various instructions Krishna is giving. Okay. We'll really, because Prabhupada says Bhagavad Gita is complete. All knowledge is there. If you carefully read, analyze, and scrutinizingly study, everything Krishna has given. Okay. Fine. So tomorrow is Radhashtami. We're going to have a live telecast of the program. And those of you nearest to any of our ISKCON temples, you please visit our programs tomorrow. And those of you are little difficult to travel or visit, we'll be telecasting live from Vrindavan. You can very well participate in that program. Okay, so shall we conclude now?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, fine. Hari Bol. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Jai Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare